Let's start with the biggest mistake the 49ers made in 2020. Positive.
Nick, it's your turn.
Oh, man, the biggest mistake. It makes sense, but I still think it was a huge mistake letting DeForest Buckner go. Again, you look at what has happened to the team this season with the injuries. DeForest Buckner has been an Ironman his entire career. He was a blue-chip defensive prospect. They did everything right after trading Buckner. But when you have a player that plays to his caliber, a perennial Pro Bowler, All-Pro, he was a second-team All-Pro last year, if I remember correctly. So that's a trade that it's going to look better as time goes on. I have a lot of confidence in Javon Kinlaw for making the trade make more sense, but I think the 49ers messed that one up, letting go of Buckner.
I'm going to go with my first one is drafting Colt McKivitz or Charlie Werner over Michael Onwenu, who's been excellent for the Patriots. He's one of their offensive linemen, one of their lone bright spots this year, and he played guard in college some. He's been playing tackle too. That would have been pretty important this year if they had that luxury of a guy that could play all over the line. And then cutting DJ Reed is my other one. Ooh. At the time, I didn't think much of it because I thought Reed would probably miss most of the season. But, I mean, they should have kept him because, I mean, he's been pretty good for the Seahawks. He's kind of kept their defense alive in the last couple of weeks. And they could have used him instead of Brian Allen. And they could have used him in the last couple of weeks when they were putting Dante Johnson in the slot.
True.
Yeah. The top one that I had was the trade of Buckner. Trading him to the Colts. Not addressing the inter-offensive line would be the other one. But the Buckner deal was a big one too, a big one for a couple of reasons. Because one, you know, you're getting rid of a guy that's a team leader, definitely one of the best guys on your team. Secondly, he's the guy that had some flexibility to him, so he could have been the guy that could have played on the outside and allowed Armstead to kick down inside more often, and given him some flexibility there that they didn't have with what they were left with. So that, you know, I really think that they missed that one. The only positive to the Buckner trade, though, is Ayuk.
True. You guys, I'm going to disagree with you guys. The Buckner one is huge. You know how I feel about the Buckner. I totally disagree with it. But defense is still really good. It's still really good without him. And I got to say, trading Buckner isn't the reason the Niners are 6 and whatever they're at right now. 6-8.
No, of course
6-9. I'm going to say the biggest mistake the Niners made this year was not signing Tom Brady. I still can't get over how they didn't do that. It's a no-brainer. Tom Brady is one of like the 4 quarterbacks in the league that if you have him, you're winning 10 games. It doesn't matter what happens to your defense, it doesn't matter. I mean, last year when he was in New England, everyone thought he was the problem. No, he wasn't. He was propping that team up. He leaves, they stink. He goes to a losing team, they win. That's what happens. Also, dude's like 43 years old or whatever, never misses a game to injury. People say, oh, he wouldn't have lasted on the Niners. Yes, he would have. That guy hasn't missed a game due to injury since Jimmy Garoppolo was like a sophomore in high school. No. If he had been on this team, they wouldn't have had those games where they lost because they committed 4 turnovers. Wouldn't have happened. They'd be in the playoff hunt right now. And not only that, they wouldn't have to spend a first-round pick on a quarterback this upcoming offseason. No, that was a big mistake. It was a no-brainer, and it probably fell apart because of like $6 or $7 million. They're going to regret that one for a long time. Tom Brady not having him on the team right now would have given him a lot of flexibility and more wins, which is good because you play to win the game.
Well, and if they drafted Brady, they would have drafted your tackle probably too because
Wirfs.
Yeah.
Wirfs. See, if Leo were here right now, he would be getting the last word right now. He'd be like, actually, Grant, can we just say why you're wrong? But Leo's not here anymore. Leo, we're going to talk about Leo tomorrow. Leo will be here tomorrow. I want to talk. You guys know about Leo. Leo got a new gig with Javier Vega and Matt Barr. So good job, Leo. He's going to be here tomorrow. We'll send him off in style. Leo always comes back for the last word. Okay, Leo, you're right.